In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8 is called Akshara Brahma Yoga, one of the greatest chapters in Bhagavad Gita. A man must have a full life, a great living, and also a great death. What should one do to merge back with cosmic consciousness, even at the time of death, is given to Arjuna in chapter 8. Doing so, he also tells us what to do. In chapter 7, Krishna mentions certain words: Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma, Adibhota, Adidaiva, Adiyajna, and also he also says a man who has the knowledge of self can know me even at the time of death. Arjuna was confused as to what these words are. He asks for a clarification to Krishna to explain those words. Kim tad Brahma, kim Adhyatma, kim Karma Purushottama, Adibhutancha kim Proktam, Adidaivam kim Uchyate, Adiyajnam katam kotra, Dehesmin Madhusudana, Prayana Kalecha katam Gneyosi Niyatatvavihi. Those are the questions which Arjuna asks. As we already know, in chapter 7, Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. There is nothing other than me here, Arjuna, that he told. Matter and cosmic consciousness, both are his prakritis. One para prakriti and another apara prakriti. So he clarifies the same Atman is called differently in different places. Akshara is Parabrahma. When it is in the body, it is called Adhyatma. The creation of this world and the activity of creation is called Karma. All living beings that are born and dead are called Adibhuta. Krishna himself is in every living being as Adiyajna. And also he says, a man who remembers me at the time of death will definitely come to me, there is no doubt in it. And he says a principle. The time of death is the greatest time in a man's life. Whatever he remembers at that moment, will he become again in the next life? If he remembers God at the time of death, he will merge back into that cosmic consciousness, and there is no necessity of being reborn. Immediately Krishna says a very interesting way to achieve it. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. While you are there, remember me and do all your activities so that it is easy for you to get me back. This is the yoga that he says. By this yoga, a man can merge back into that cosmic consciousness that is the breaking of the cycle of birth and death. Krishna tells Arjuna, and through Arjuna to each one of us, to remember that cosmic consciousness which has certain qualities. He is Sarvajna, eternal, ruler of everybody, smaller than the smallest, creator, sustainer, and destroyer of everything that we see. Remember him at that time, and also at the time of departure from the body, concentrate on Bhrumadhya and ultimately saying Om, one must get out of the body. This is what Vedas tell us. This is what the great spiritual leaders do. For this only they do a lot of tapas. And therefore he says it must be possible for Arjuna also to leave the body, whatever time it is in a man's life, with this, and that is the highest sadhana. Simply he says, Omityekaksharam Brahman Vyaharan Maman Smaran Yaprayati Tajandeham Sayati Paramamgati. If a man can say Om and get out of the body, he will merge back to me. I am easily achievable for a man who can do this at the time of leaving the body. There are concepts of different lokas in our culture. It is said there are 14 lokas. Krishna tells any loka for that matter, starting from Brahma Loka to all other, if a man goes to that, he will be returning back to earth to continue his karma. Only liberation for, according to Krishna, is Mamupetya Punarjanma Mamupetya Kaunteya Punarjanma Navidyate. Only when he gets back to me, he will not be reborn. After saying this beautiful way to leave the body, Krishna speaks a little about the concept of time, human time and God's time. Brahma's 100 years means 2000 Chatur Yugas. Brahma's one day, 1000 Chatur Yugas, and one night is again 1000 Chatur Yugas. And what will happen to the creation at this time? He beautifully explains. When it is Brahma's day, all living beings come out from the sleeping state. They live. And when Brahma's night appears, they will all get back into that seed form. And until the next day of Brahma appears, creation will be in that seed form. So this is going to happen every time in this Srishti. Sometimes we will be Avyakta in Brahma's night. Sometimes we will be Vyakta in Brahma's day. But ultimately, if a man gets to that cosmic consciousness, he will get mukti. Yam prapya nanivartante taddama paramamama. Going where a man does not return is my highest place called mukti. This could be achieved by any man with Ananya Bhakti, Krishna says. In our Vedic concept, there is a concept of what would happen to a man when he dies at a particular time and another other time. Krishna says yogi will be liberated when he leaves the body, when there is Agni, when it is day, when it is Shukla Paksha, when it is the 6 months of Uttarayana. Same yogi, if he dies at the time of where there is cloud, where there is night, when it is Krishna Paksha, when it is the 6 months of Dakshinayana, even a yogi will not be liberated according to this. He will go to the moon, spend some times over there, and he will later, when Uttarayana comes, he will be liberated. After saying this, which are the concepts in our Vedas, Krishna beautifully advises Arjuna to each one of the listeners, Naite smriti parthajanan yogi mukhyati kasyana. A yogi will not be worried about these things, Arjuna. Whether it is Uttarayana, whether it is Dakshinayana, nothing to be worried about. Be a yogi and do all your duties as yogi. And therefore, Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. At all times, live like a yogi. Don't worry about the time of death. And he ultimately says the greatness of this yogi. Yogi is better than a man who reads Veda every day, a man who does yajna every day, a man who does all tapas, and also a man who gives all things that he had earned before he leaves this body. A yogi is greater than all these. Therefore, he says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. He tells Arjuna and to every listener of Gita, be a yogi as in life, be a yogi in death. That is the highest thing to be achieved by a human being who will get liberation. Thank you.